Good morning, everybody. Smoky Mountain Dave here. It's mid-May. It's about 5:30 in the morning, and we're going fishing today. Most of my fishing, as you know from watching the channel, is up in the mountains, trout fishing. But we're in Charlotte, North Carolina this morning, and we're going to be heading down to South Carolina. A friend of mine has a pond down there, and it's just loaded with big largemouth bass. Now, most of the bass this time of year are probably on the beds, so they're going to be very aggressive, and hopefully we'll get some topwater action and catch a bunch of bass. So stick with me as it lightens up here. I'll give you a little idea where we're going, and then we'll talk to you when we get down to the pond. Okay, we're heading south on I-77. We're in South Carolina. We're going down about another 45 minutes to Fairfield County. So just to give you an idea of where we're at, it's about 6:30 in the morning, so we should be on the water in the next half hour or so, and hopefully be able to catch some largemouth bass. We made it down to the property. Now we just have to take this old road back to the pond, and doesn't look like anybody's been back here for a while. Might have to move some fallen trees out of the way, but we just need to go back here, I don't know, just about a quarter mile, and then we'll show you the pond, get in a little John boat and wet a line. Okay, here we are. Here's the pond right here. There's the little John boat that we'll be putting a little trolling motor on it, pushing out, and then getting out on this little pond, see what we can catch. It's a beautiful little pond. It's probably about, I don't know, 6-7 acres. Doesn't look like people fish back here very much. I haven't seen anybody back here. It is private property, but hopefully we'll be able to catch some largemouth bass, and we'll film that when we get out there. Got a first little bass in the boat here, so only third cast, so looks good so far. Okay, so here we are out on the pond. You can tell just a beautiful, beautiful bass pond. We've only been out a few minutes and we've already got one small 12-inch bass. But it's gonna be a really nice morning, and I think the fish are gonna be pretty active this morning. So if we catch anything more or catch anything of any size, we'll make sure that we get it back on camera.
Here I caught a big brim. Not what I was targeting, but they bite on the Rapalas just like the bass do. Ended up catching 3 or 4 of these. They're great big size brim and really good fighters, and it was kind of fun to catch some of those even though I wasn't trying.
In the boat already, a couple small bass, one big brim or bluegill, and we're gonna just go around this corner here. Been very lucky right at that little point, and hopefully there's a couple big bass lurking in there. Not a bad little bass right there. So let me show you what I've got setup wise this morning. I've got an open face, pretty lightweight, and I'm just using a Rapala, a floating Rapala. I don't have my go-to Rapala, which is a gold one. I think it's called the F7, but I've got about 5 in the boat so far, so that's one of my rods. Then the other setup I have is another open face, very, very lightweight, 4-pound test on there, and just a small little Rapala there. And lastly, just for fun, I've got one more rod here that I have set up, and this is basically a closed face, and for fun I just have a big floating frog on there. It's great topwater action, and usually attracts bigger fish. You got to fish a little differently. You don't set the hook as soon as they take it. You got to let them kind of play with it a little bit in order to set that hook. But basically that's the 3 setups, and I just keep switching around. So anyhow, I've got 5 in the boat so far. The pond is looking really, really nice. Sun's just coming up a little bit. A lot of activity here. I see a lot of fish hitting topwater stuff. So like I said, I got 5 in the boat so far. I filmed a few of them, but hopefully we can get something a little bigger, and you can enjoy this morning fishing with me on this beautiful, beautiful little pond. Well, heading out. This pond never disappoints. We probably had 20 bass in the boat. Biggest one was about 16 inches and a lot around 12 inches, but always good to go out in the morning and catch a bunch of bass. So anyhow, it's back up to the mountains for me and back up to do a little trout fishing. We'll check you out later. See ya.